I'm done watching men disrespect you. I'm done watching them walk all over you and treat you like literal garbage. So today is your last day accepting disrespect from men, and I'm going to make sure of it, which is why I'm creating this guide for you. In this guide, we're going to go through every single different type of disrespect from men that you are no longer going to tolerate. With each point in this guide, I'm going to explain to you why it's disrespectful, what you're communicating about yourself when you accept that type of disrespect, and how you're going to finally put your foot down with men. By the end of this video, you'll have a detailed playbook that will take you from being the woman that men use, abuse, and discard to transforming you into the woman men respect, adore, and cherish, and maybe even fear. Let's start by talking about spinning the block. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what that means, spinning the block is referring to when people, or in this case men, come back into your life after a while. An example of that would be you're in a situationship with a guy for a couple of months, and at some point you realize, because of how unserious he is with you, that this is all just a big waste of time. So things just begin to fizzle out, and eventually the two of you are no longer speaking. Then a couple of months go by, and he hits you up randomly and talks about missing you, wanting to see you, and spend time with you again. So some of you are probably wondering, what makes that disrespectful? Is he not allowed to miss me or want to see me? And this is where most women make the mistake of allowing the disrespect to happen because they don't even realize disrespect is happening. When a man has a clear opportunity to take dating you seriously and he chooses to not take it seriously, that is him telling you through his actions he doesn't see you to be valuable enough that he would bother to take this serious. But the craziest part is that's not even where the major disrespect lies. The most disrespectful part is after not putting his best foot forward in building a relationship with you, he comes back around like nothing ever happened and assumes that if he sends you a couple of sweet messages and tells you that he misses you, that he'll go right back to being able to get access to you again. Because he doesn't believe that you have enough respect for yourself to deny him access to you after he's already wasted his opportunity to get access to you. So understand that when he hits you up to try to spin the block on you again, it's not because he actually misses you or misses spending time with you. What he actually misses is his ability to get access to you on a regular basis. And the even crazier part is a lot of times the men don't even actually want to sleep with you again. They just want to recognize that even in the smallest way, they could still have access to you if they really wanted to. Which is why when he sends you the I miss you message or the I want to see you message, you don't even respond to it. You don't like the message, you don't heart the message, you don't respond to it at all. What you're showing him is that you had your chance. You made your choice and you chose not to put your best foot forward in this relationship. So now you're going to face the consequences of your choices. Because when you allow men to spin the block on you over and over again, you're teaching them that there are no real consequences for their actions. And over time, the disrespect just gets worse and worse because he recognizes that no matter how poorly he treats you, as long as he waits just a couple of months, maybe even a year, then comes back around later to check in on you, you'll allow him back into your life like nothing ever happened. Which brings me right into my next point, the disrespect of time-wasting men. See, when a man meets you and he decides he wants to get to know you, he has to lead with intention. Leading with intention means because he desires you and he desires to get access to you, he's going to take action with purpose in these particular ways in order to put his best foot forward and give himself the best opportunity to be in a relationship with you. And this is why time waster men are so extremely disrespectful, and you're done allowing that. Because when a man is willing to show you that he doesn't have any intention, direction, or purpose as it relates to being with you, he is telling you through his actions, I don't give a damn about you. You are not important enough for me to have an actual plan. I know that you are so desperate. If I just text you endlessly with no date in sight or talk to you about all the things I'm gonna do, but never actually do them, that it'll be enough to keep you on the hook, because what other choices do you have? This is why a lot of times time-wasting men come in the form of what I call a pen pal. A man who will just text you endlessly and never ask you out on a real date or progress the relationship in any forward direction. You must take this as disrespect because he's telling you that your time is not valuable. You're going to show him that your time is valuable by ignoring his endless chats about nothing going nowhere. Because at a certain point, you know in your heart, nothing is going to come of anything that you're doing with him here. Another version of a time waster is a man who, even after you meet him, has no idea what he wants for himself, no idea what he wants to be, and no idea what he wants to be doing. So everything in the relationship is just directionless and purposeless. Once again, he doesn't believe that your time matters. So he's perfectly fine with wasting it. When a man shows you he does not have intention, direction, and purpose with you as it relates to a relationship, you stop talking to that man immediately. Now let's discuss selective attention. I want you to take notice of the guys who only text you or call you when they want something from you. This type of disrespect is so easy to allow because it doesn't even feel bad when it's actually happening to you. An example of selective attention would be a guy who rarely texts you during the weekday because he's at work and he knows you're not going to be available to do anything with you. Then all of a sudden, on the weekend, when he's going out to the club or the bar with his boys, he texts you or calls you asking you, "What are you doing? Can he see you?" Conveniently, these calls or texts only happen late at night when seeing you would consist of him going to your place or you coming to his late at night to do some horizontal exercise. Now, the fact that he wants to sleep with you in itself does not make it disrespectful. It's the fact that he only chooses to acknowledge your existence or consider it to be important when he sees you during the times when he's most likely to be able to get physical pleasure out of your interaction. In some scenarios, this can go as far as guys who text and call you less when they know you're on your period. Since they know they can't extract physical pleasure from you, they don't bother reaching out to you because any encounter with you is not going to end how he wants it to end. So how do you deal with selective attention? Well, you give it no attention until he begins to give you consistent energy. What do I mean by consistent energy? I'm talking about him having the same desire to talk to you, see you on a weekday after work, just as much as he does at 1 a.m. when he's drunk at the bar. And if you're noticing when you don't answer these 1 a.m. texts that he still isn't giving you attention outside of these late nights, well, then you just need to cut him off for good. Because all he's communicating is that the only value he places on you is about how conveniently you can satisfy his need to be pleasured. He sees you as nothing more than an object of his own self-pleasure. And until you stop responding to those 1 a.m. messages just because he's giving you a little bit of attention, he will continue to disrespect you by doing this. I now want to discuss slob men. Have you ever gone to a guy's place and when you enter his place, it looks like an absolute mess? There are clothes everywhere, pee on the bathroom floor, toothpaste on the mirror. Even the living room is an absolute mess. It looks like he hasn't done any cleaning before you came over. This is how you know a guy has absolutely zero respect for you. When he invites you over, knowing that you're going to see what his place looks like, and he still chooses to allow it to be disgusting, it shows how little he cares about you or putting his best foot forward when he's with you. The same goes for if he offers to pick you up, you get inside his car, and the car has garbage everywhere. Or if you're supposed to go to meet a guy on a date, and when you see him on the date, it looks like he literally just got out of bed. All of these things are clear indicators that not only is this man a slob, but he doesn't even give a damn whether you know that he's a slob. The reason this is so disrespectful is because what he's non-verbally communicating to you when he does this is, I don't see you as a woman who is valuable or desirable enough that I should present myself in a way that a man would when he's with or around a top-tier woman. You are like garbage scraps, and I know you don't have any real options. So when I present myself like an absolute slob, you're going to accept it because it's the best a woman like you can do. When men present themselves like a slob to you, you need to recognize he's telling you that this is what he believes you deserve. The only way to show him that you don't deserve that is by never speaking to him again after you notice that. Flopping is a very blatant form of disrespect. For those of you who don't know what flopping is, it's when someone makes a plan with you, puts that plan in place. And then the day of that plan, or a couple of hours before that plan is supposed to take place, they give some sort of excuse of why they can't make it. Now, flopping every once in a while isn't in itself a bad thing, but when you're noticing a pattern of behavior of a man continuously flopping on you all the time when you guys make plans, that is disrespect. Because once again, if he truly valued your time, he wouldn't create a plan that he knows he may not be able to stick to. Or the even more disrespectful version of that is he makes a plan with you when he has no better options of things to do at that time. Then when something more interesting or someone more interesting comes along, he books that time he was supposed to spend with you with the other person or doing the other thing. Then he flops on you when his better option comes calling. And if you are a man's second, third, or even fourth option, you're going to notice a pattern of him continuing to flop on you over and over again, because his goal is never to actually be with you. His goal is to be with you if he has nothing better to do. This is what makes it so disrespectful, because men who prioritize women don't regularly flop on them. In fact, they move things around in their own schedule to fit around being able to see and access that woman. If anything, they flop on other people and other things to be with the woman that they prioritize. So when a man isn't prioritizing, he's gonna flop on you a lot more. And there's absolutely no need for you to continue to stay in a situation in which a man is making it clear to you that he is not prioritizing you. Especially when we're talking about the first few dates where things should be planned well in advance. If you're noticing a pattern of a guy flopping on you on a regular basis, don't waste your time wondering what that means at all. It means you're done spending time with that guy. Now let's talk about one of the really bold versions of disrespect, keeping up with the exes. Sometimes these are ex-girlfriends. Sometimes these are girls he's met on a dating app. Sometimes they're just girls he randomly hooked up with. You're done dealing with men who don't know how to cut exes off. I don't care what excuse he gives you for having these exes or past flings still in his life. There is no reason for them to still be in his life, especially if he's taken these exes or past flings and turned them into some sort of weird friendship or friend group he hangs out with. This is one of the most blatant forms of disrespect, because he actually believes you're stupid enough to believe him, that the woman that he slept with in the past or attempted to date or successfully dated have now become close friends of his that he can't let go of and needs to continue talking to regularly. Why would a guy do this? Because he believes you're dumb enough to allow him to go spend time with one of those women one-on-one as friends. And he knows if you're dumb enough to believe that these exes are actually now just friends, then you'll also be dumb enough to believe any lie that he tells you about the girls that he's dealing with from this point forward. You need to block any man who even suggests the idea that he is staying friends with any of his exes or previous flings that he's met on a dating app. Because the audacity that he has to even suggest that means that his respect for you is already under the floor. There's another type of disrespect from what I describe as obstacle fakers. These are men who will pretend like they have fake obstacles in their life that are getting in the way of their ability to commit to you in a long-term serious relationship. Now, this isn't always necessarily a lie as long as the obstacle itself is real. What makes this so disrespectful, though, is the obstacle he presents to you is so abstract, so vague, that neither you nor him actually know what's getting in the way of his ability to commit. He'll say things to you like, I have some things in my life I just need to figure out before I'm ready for a relationship. But he won't tell you what those things are. And no matter how many times you ask him about those things, he'll either claim he wants to keep it private or explain them in such a vague way that it still doesn't make sense to you. Why is he doing this? Because he believes that you're stupid. In fact, he believes that you're so stupid that you'll accept this vague, abstract obstacle and sit around and wait for the day in which this obstacle you don't know anything about eventually disappears. Because a man that does this knows only an extremely desperate woman will sit around waiting for basically nothing to happen. There is no way for you to gauge how close or far away he is from that obstacle, which is exactly the point. He wants you to sit around twiddling your thumbs, waiting for something to happen while he continues to extract from you until he's ready to throw you away. If a guy cannot give you absolute clarity as to what obstacles are in the way of his ability to commit to you, then he's stringing you along. If he can't give you some sort of timeline on how long it will take for him to overcome these obstacles, and you cannot see him progressing towards that goal, you need to block him on every platform known to man. This next one is really gonna sting. You're done allowing men to keep you as a secret. Yes, I'm talking about guys who don't want anyone to know he's your boyfriend and that you're his girlfriend. Most importantly, the guys that are keeping you a secret from the people that matter most in his inner circle. Sure, some guys are more private, so they might not post about their life as much on social media, which makes sense why they might not post you as their girlfriend. But when you notice a man is purposely trying to keep you from his friends and his family, as well as social media, that is when you need to start taking this as disrespect. No man who truly is proud of the woman that he's with wants to keep her from everyone he's close with. Some men might not want random strangers on social media to know, but for sure he would want his close friends and family to know about how amazing and awesome you are, unless he doesn't actually believe you are amazing and awesome. And especially if he has ongoing situations that would make it very difficult or complicated to introduce you as his new girlfriend. It would make things very complicated if what he's been telling you about how much he wants to be with you is very different from what he's been telling other people. You not being able to meet any of these people in his inner circle also prevents you from being able to confirm or deny anything he says about himself or towards you. And the truth is, only the naive women stick around while this foolishness is going on forever. No, I'm not telling you to force a man to introduce you to his friends and his family. But once you notice a reluctancy to do so, take note of that and allow that to be the thing that motivates you to get out of this relationship. Bro treatment is one of the easiest forms of disrespect to allow, because it actually can feel really fun under the right circumstances. When a guy is treating you like one of the bros all the time, it can feel good because you feel like you're his best friend. When he relaxes around you, he includes you in the things that he does with his guy friends, you almost feel like a sense of belonging, that you're a part of his friend group. Here's where bro treatment becomes disrespectful though. Guys will get so caught up in treating you like a bro, they'll forget you're still a woman. So they'll be insensitive to your feelings like a bro. They won't talk about anything deep or filled with emotion like a bro. They'll never do anything romantic with you just like they wouldn't with a bro. You never get princess treatment from him just like he wouldn't give to a bro. And eventually you realize the guys who treat you like a bro end up treating you the worst because they don't allow you to exist in your feminine energy. You also don't get the ability to have the emotional separation from the way he acts around his bros. When a guy sees you as a bro, they tend to neglect your feelings and treat you worse as a woman. You will never aspire to be a bro or accept bro treatment from a man that you're dating. Anytime you're seeing a guy, there should always be a clear separation between who you are to him and who his bros are to him. And you should never be trying to turn yourself into one of his guy friends, because the moment he treats you like one of his guy friends, he'll begin disrespecting your romantic relationship. I have to touch on texting disrespect because it's such an easy place to allow disrespect. When a guy is actively ignoring you over text or being so nonchalant in the way he's responding to you that he barely gets back to you within a couple of days, I want you to take this as disrespect. Not because you're entitled to a text back from him, but when a guy is showing you he doesn't have much interest in communicating with you, you need to take it as he doesn't have much interest in communicating with you. The problem occurs when you don't take this as it's meant to be taken, and you convince yourself that, oh, he's not communicating with me because his phone's been dead for a week, or he's lost service in the train for 3 days. This leads to you trying to overcompensate for the lack of desire to communicate on his part by creating conversation that you hope will inspire him to want to communicate with you over text. And this is a big mistake. When a guy shows you he's not interested in communicating with you over text, and that he's also not interested in planning anything with you either, I want you to feel disrespected by that in order to respond appropriately by not continuing to force the conversation to happen over text. Because guys know it's a clear indicator when you feel a compulsion to do everything in your power to create more conversation over text that you're more likely desperate. And the more desperate you are, the easier you are to take advantage of. Let men initiate with you over text. They have your number. They know how to contact you. And if they're not contacting you, it means they don't want to. Men who don't prioritize your happiness show you exactly how they feel about you, which is that they don't. Anytime a man has real feelings for you, your happiness as a woman will be at the top of his priority list. He will always be looking for big and small ways to make your life easier, more convenient, and more enjoyable. If you're with a guy and you notice he's always consistently solely thinking of his own comfort, his own convenience, you're not with a man who actually desires you, you're with a man who's using you. A man who is not prioritizing your happiness is also a man who is not taking action for you. If a man is not taking action for you, he will never be able to develop romantic feelings for you. You are allowing him to blatantly disrespect you when he shows you he does not prioritize your happiness whatsoever, and you continue to stick around while simultaneously prioritizing his happiness. Once he realizes you're willing to do that, he will siphon your energy, your spiritual and mental resources until you have nothing left to give. If a man shows you he doesn't want to be with you the first time, don't wait years of being treated like a second-class citizen before you realize the disrespect was right in front of your face the entire time.